Hi, I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness, and in this active aging micro workout, we're going to focus on mobilizing the hips to improve joint health, reduce stiffness, and keep you moving comfortably and confidently. We're going to start with a chair, so grab yours and let's get moving. We're beginning with either a chair or a bench, and we're going to do lunge steps to mobilize our hips. If you can, I would like you to be in high plank. If this irritates your wrist to be in wrist extension, you may alternatively come down into low plank. This will be harder on the core, but a safer option for those with wrist issues. I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock, and I'd like you to follow me as we step our right foot to the outside of the bench or chair, back to high plank or low plank, and then your left foot. So we're truly just alternating sides here. And because we're working on mobilizing the hips, I really want you to lean into this step. So that's okay if we lose a little bit of that core contraction. The abdominals are already braced and they are protecting our low back. But as we alternate steps here, you might really lean into this and focus more on the mobilization of your hips versus that core contraction. So this lunge step, it deeply engages the hips and flexion and external rotation, and we're enhancing flexibility and functional movement patterns. We are keeping the abdominals engaged, so we're getting a nice little core action with this workout. And stop. Now take a seat with me, and we'll be forward in our chairs, and we're going to be utilizing either a yoga block or a Pilates ball would be sufficient too. We're going to alternate hip internal rotation. So to set ourselves up, we will sit forward in our chair. Your hands may be on armrest or the seat of your chair. And with your right leg, we're going to lift our right leg out to the side. The foot lifts, so we're working internal rotation of the hip, and then lower down, and now alternate. So for 1 minute, we're just alternating this hip internal rotation. We're pressing into the yoga block, which will engage our inner thighs. And by moving the hip through its internal rotation range, this exercise helps to maintain joint lubrication, and it reduces stiffness, and it supports long-term health. As we alternate sides, pay attention. Is one leg, does it feel more mobile? Does it feel like it's able to lift higher? Over time, we'll want to work on balancing our sides. And this could be a strength or a mobility issue. The controlled movement of alternating internal rotation engages stabilizing muscles, and this improves balance and overall coordination. And you're just exhaling as you press into that block. And stop. For our next exercise, we're going to do basically an elevated pigeon pose or a figure 4 stretch. We're going to have a bench or a chair, and I would like you to take your right leg up. So we're moving into external rotation, and then you can take your left leg back. So we're trying to get into this figure 4 stretch. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and I want you to feel a really deep stretch through that piriformis muscle. That's that muscle in your butt. Our hip is in external rotation, and we're having to stabilize here through our arms. Now I have my arms up. Alternatively, you could bring your arms down. You could even use the back of your chair. I just want you to get into a nice, comfortable position here, knowing that you're stretching really hard through your piriformis and glute muscle. All right, let's slowly exit this pose. Take your time. And then we're going to bring our left leg up. So together, let's externally rotate through our hip, and we're going to use the seat of the chair for balance support. And then I'm slowly just gliding my right leg back, and then I'm sitting into this stretch. And again, I want you to feel a comfortable position. 30 seconds is on the clock. Feel a comfortable position for yourself. Breathe deeply as we're mobilizing our hip and external rotation, and we're stretching through the piriformis. That's a muscle in your butt. And this is an important muscle to stretch because a tight piriformis can lead to issues such as piriformis syndrome, which is a shooting pain in your butt, or a tight piriformis can even impact and cause sciatica.
Okay.
And stop. So nice and easy, go ahead and exit this pose. And we're going to finish with standing fire hydrant. So please place your chair so it's near your left hand. We're gonna put 1 minute on the clock. And with your right leg, we're going to lift into hip flexion. And then we're going up and over. This is internal rotation of the hip as we go over an imaginary fire hydrant. So that's the move. So we're coming up and then over, internally rotating through that hip. By mimicking a controlled arc-like motion, this drill is strengthening the muscles and the tendons around the hips, and this improves hip stability and it reduces the risk of injury. Moving the hips through their full range of motion keeps the joint lubricated and it helps prevent stiffness. This exercise activates muscles involved in hip internal rotation and abduction. These are areas that are often neglected but are crucial for hip function. And stop. We'll now move on to the other side. So our right leg is our stable leg. We can internally rotate our left hand and arm so it's out of the way. Let's put 1 minute on the clock. And with your left leg, please flex your hip. And then we're gonna go up and over the fire hydrant. And again, you're choosing the height of your fire hydrant. So if you're a little bit tighter, your fire hydrant could be smaller. But you do wanna work through your fullest range of motion. So standing on one leg while performing this movement and challenges balance and proprioception, and this enhances coordination and overall stability. You're really having to work the muscles of the right leg in a balanced way, and then the left leg is functionally working through a full range of motion as we flex and then internally rotate the hip. And stop. All right, thank you so much for joining me for this hip mobility workout. I'm Tiffany with New Perspective Fitness, and I'll catch you next time.